You are watching a special presentation from Tinkle Group Gaming. Hello guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series, race number 35 here today from the Martinsville Speedway. Today we present to you the Xfinity 500 and the final race before we determine the championship for the final time here in series history. I'm Brian in the booth with you. Starting from the pole today will be that number 99 of Charles Sanford. To his outside will be his friend Dylan Young in that number 24. Again, both of them not playoff drivers, but we will tell you who is. Let's take a look at how the playoffs shape up entering here today. Bradley Ream enters here today with a 23-point lead over the cut line. Annie Thomas only 19 over, but she starts in fourth today. Daniel Voyle starts in third. He's only 5 to the good, so a good start for the number 4 team as they look to make the title race. The defending championship team there. Daniel Gittero 1 to the good. He starts back in 6th. And then, of course, then you get into Cameron Arkman, the teammate, 1 point out. Prettyshaw's also within 2 points of the championship 4. But then you get back into Austin Shaw, Dylan Ibrahimian, 12 and 14 back respectively. And, of course, not in dire need of a win, just in need of a good result and a little bit more to go their way versus Pretty-Shaw, Cameron Arkman, and Daniel Gittero, who kind of need everything to go right. And same kind of for Daniel Voiles in that number 4. Who need everything to go right. They need a good day. But again, the easiest way to get in, win. And we'll see, can any of those 8 that I had mentioned do that? Or could Charles Sanford and Dylan Young play upset? Could they play spoiler in the second to last round of the season? We'll find out in just a moment. Let's roll the intro, and when we come back, the green flag from Martinsville in just a moment.
In a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring. My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
Here we go, pace cars off. We're ready to go racing here. For the second to last time in Jello Cup Series history, it'll be Charles Sanford, Dylan Young. Green flag, we're racing in Martinsville. Caution's out already. Charles Sanford will lead the opening lap. Oh, looks like the 12 might have backed into the wall. Jana Fogelman. We'll have to get a replay. Oh, 34's in the pits too. Something might have happened there, but let's go see what happened. Looks like someone didn't get going on the initial start. You see some 3-wide action back here. Well, let's fast forward this. Of course, green flag is out. Austin Shaw trying to battle for position. He gets hooked by Michael Collins, and up into the wall he goes. But what happened to the 12 to cause that damage? Oh, she got hooked by the 48, and you see the 34 Alexander Underwood there, just kind of stuck in the grass. Unfortunate for those drivers involved, and tough break for Austin Shaw as he tries to race his way in to Ricky Raceway in the title race. But we'll take you back to the green here in just a moment. Getting ready to go back racing here. See the 34, the damage is done. Charles Sanford, he's going to be the leader, but he's going to have lap traffic in front of him. Daniel Voiles in second. JJ Bell in third. We're going to have a lap traffic moment presented by Fitzwater's Angriness. As we go back racing here, you see it hurts the 4. Voiles battling with the 51. Back there as Charles Sanford will hang on and lead the race. Again, next race we are at Ricky Raceway. It will determine the title. Who will be the final Jello Cup Series champion in the historic 9-season series that we have had. Hoax hanging on for the time being. You're not seeing much passing here on the Cup side. Of course, if you watched the truck side yesterday, congratulations to Scott Upton on winning and advancing. And of course, as we talk about the trucks, we can't forget to mention that the championship 4 there has been decided. Kyler Anderson, Scott Upton, both winners in the round. Then, of course, Elena Aurora and Addie Davidson will be a part of that battle as they go to Ricky, of course. We don't know when yet, but that will be the next race we're hoping within the next few weeks here. Caution's back out. Anyway, let's go see what happened, as this will help the 19. But let's go see what happened. Same thing that happened to Austin Shaw will happen to Kevin Howard here. He gets hooked by the 34, who's already multiple laps down. Not sure what that was about. And then, of course, Dick Clark piles in there. 78 gets into the back of him. Tough break for those involved. And already a rough start to the race, so we'll take you back to the green in just a moment. Welcome back. We're getting ready to go back racing here at Martinsville. Nobody out of the race but Dick Clark trying to avoid going a lap down. Here's it'll be Charles Sanford, JJ Bell, Dylan Young, Annie Thomas, and the 77 of Ali Liara. We're racing and we got another Fitzwater Angriness lap traffic moment. Of course, we come to complete lap 18. I might have forgotten to mention at the beginning that we will have a very special post-race show here. Of course, to show you who made the championship 4 and who is still, show you who made the championship 4 and who will unfortunately just be battling to end their season on a high note with the final win in Jello Cup Series history. Of course, I think we know one thing for sure as we look back at the history of the Jello Cup Series. There's one guy who will stand the test of time and who will be the most winningest driver in Jello Cup Series history when it's all said and done after Ricky. And of course, that man is Zach Fitzwater in that number 16. He runs in 17th at the moment, but he will have the distinct honor of being the winningest driver in the series in the history of the series. That's just huge for him. Congratulations on that title. He will hold it, I'm sure, gracefully. As while that was going on, we do have a battle for the lead. It's the 51 JJ Bell, the 99 of Charles Sanford. Sanford trying to make that outside lane work for him, but JJ Bell is going to lead this lap, and he's going to clear for the race lead. JJ Bell was, I believe, part of the playoffs at one point. Unfortunately, not battling to make the championship 4, but looking to prevent some other drivers from making it. Oh, the 99 hard into the wall. And that'll allow Dylan Young, Ali Liara to get by. And may just allow Chad Bedford in that Andretti Autosport entry to get by. Dick Clark, you gotta wonder, being in this situation, if that 51 is somehow able to catch him, will he play the team orders? He does not have to pull over. He is not a lap down just yet, so he can still battle the race leader. But will he play team orders, trying to help Dylan Young capture another victory? It's an intriguing position for him to be in. Again, you want to help your teammate who's battling there in the second position, but you also don't want to interfere in race results. There we go. Dick Clark not allowing him by. And that's going to keep Dylan Young within 4/10 of the race lead. Within 3/10 now, here on lap number 30. This is our longest green flag run of the day. But you see Dick Clark making it difficult right now, of course, trying to avoid going a lap down. Excuse me, while these leaders still battling. And they've kind of gone single file across the boards. Back up to almost 3.5 tenths. Well, 51 moved up just slightly. Here comes the 24 now. He'll go high, trying to search for some grip. It's not going to help him. Here comes the 77, Ali Liara. Can't quite close the deal. And that's going to do it for JJ Bell for the time being. Let's go on back. Daniel Voiles currently running in 6th. Of course, Charles Sanford running in 5th. How about Pretty Shaw? We haven't talked much about that 42. And she currently runs in that 4th spot, looking for 3rd now. Again, Pretty Shaw. Only 2 points out. Just needs a good run here today, and it's happening for that number 42 team. Just what the doctor ordered for him. Here comes the 4 of Daniel Voiles now. Looking to make some sort of statement. Of course, Daniel Voiles was only 5 points out, or 5 points ahead entering today. And if I had to guess at this point in time, the championship 4 would of course be Bradley Ream, Annie Thomas, and I'd have to venture a guess and say Pretty Shaw, and the number 4 of Daniel Voiles would be those 4. But let's check in on the other playoff drivers. Speaking of them, let's look at the 6 of Bradley Ream, currently running in that 18th, trying to hang on to the 18th spot rather, as he faces a challenge from Skylar Martinez, one of your go-or-go-homers. We haven't seen him in a few races, but he's looking to keep his position. At this time, Annie Thomas, we saw start up front. She currently runs in that 8th spot. Again, 19 points to the good entering today. It's looking good for that number 10 team. Daniel Gittero currently runs in 12th. And of course you saw the 4 and the 42 dead ahead. This does not bode well for Daniel Gittero's hopes of making it in. And you gotta wonder if there was any team orders today between the 20 and the 54. Of course, the 54, Cam Arkman, your 500 winner, on the outside looking in. But again, needs that win to get in. Or, I'm sorry, needs a good result. 1 point back. You gotta wonder if the team told him, hey, so you guys can battle, but let's make sure you both get in and not just one versus the other. Of course, Pretty Shaw up front. We did talk about Austin Shaw earlier being involved in an incident, currently running in that 30th spot. He's 12 points out entering today. It's looking a lot worse as this race goes on. So I got a question now. Can Austin Shaw get up there? He's going to have to do something a little unorthodox if he wants to try to make it to the title race at Ricky. Of course, we already checked in on Pretty Shaw. Her teammate, Dylan Ibrahimian, also on the outside looking in, running in that 22nd spot at this time. It's not looking good if you're Dylan Ibrahimian, but on the bright side, your teammate's in. But again, I'm sure if you had to pick between which driver is going to represent the team in the title race, if you had to pick just one, I'm sure Dylan Ibrahimian, being the seasoned veteran of the team, would hope to be that guy. Again, that's kind of through the field with your championship 4 contenders. You see the lead's kind of been fluctuating. One lap Dylan Young's there, the next lap he's 7/10 off. And you saw also JJ Bell try to get around the 5. It didn't work. As we're closing in on lap 46, we're almost at the halfway point. Hard to believe. Again, the race yesterday was only 40 laps. Today it is 100. We had hoped to have both races under the lights here, but unfortunately the night track wouldn't load for me, so we're kind of stuck with this one, which is totally fine. We're having a good day here at Martinsville so far, and you see the 24 now trying to make some big gains. Again, running just a higher line. This track you gotta run the bottom, but here goes the 51. Trying to get by the 5 of Dick Clark, and will lap him at long last. Will the 24 try to follow? Will the 5 allow him to follow? He has to at least battle for now. You see the 24 is going to get by with ease. I was about to say, if he did not let that 24 go, you got to imagine the team meeting this week for Ricky not going to be very pleasant between those two drivers, and Dick Clark, of course, thinking the better option there. JJ Bell is going to lead us to the halfway point of this race And of course, I do want to take a moment and just, as we're at the halfway point, of course, we only have one more race left. I do want to apologize for not getting the races out once again. For those who don't know, I live kind of in a house that's not air conditioned. And last year, of course, what put us on this big delay in the first place was my graphics card going out. I didn't want the graphics card to blow out once again. I also really don't want to run my air conditioning while the computer's running, just because, again, I don't know, with how powerful this PC is, I just don't know, like, am I going to blow a fuse? I don't want to risk those things, so when it's really hot out, I can't be on the PC. I've also just been so busy with work and other things. At this point, this is really the first time I've had a chance to sit down and actually be on the computer and actually record some races, so that's why, you know, you're finally getting them. But I'm still committed to finishing the season, just so you know. As pit stops occur, that'll hand the lead to Pretty Shaw in the 42, and we'll see now. Again, we're looking at the back, the 48, the 43, I believe the 20, or no, the 54. Those three got to do something different. Will they do it here? See the 4 of Daniel Boyle staying out another lap. And again, as much as those 3 cars I mentioned need to get on a different cycle, do something to get themselves in this race, you got drivers like the 4, you got drivers, you know, like Pretty Shaw, who are trying to play defense right now. Same with Daniel Guerrero. And you sort of have to wonder, you know, as the 4 stays out another lap, like, what are they thinking here? You know, because you're on defense right now. Okay, those 3 I mentioned are on offense right now. You are on defense. You're only 5 points to the good entering here today. I mean, the only way this works is if you get a caution right now. And if you get a caution, there's really no other playoff contenders in the top 10 other than the 20 of Daniel Guerrero. I mean, you two would make out the best out of anybody. But we've been on a long green flag stretch, so I just don't think that banking for a caution is going to be the right move at this point. And you see the 4 get washed up high. I would think this time he's going to pit. I would think you have to. He's going to stay out another lap. '54 is up here as well. Again, you gotta wonder how much longer. If I was in that situation, I think now would be the time. I mean, thankfully, it doesn't look like anybody is reeling you in, really. So I guess that's the good sign. I mean, but let's take a look at the 51. JJ Bell, it's not like he's running faster lap times. So, I mean, I guess it's a good move. But if they were reeling you in, I mean, last lap for the 51 was a 21.7, 21.6 for Voiles, so Voiles is outpacing them on older tires. But, again, the asterisk next to it is the 4's in clean air right now. Andy's got a 2-second lead, but I mean, if you're... I mean, I think at this point, though, as the laps keep clicking away, at this point, there's no question you're waiting for a caution. There's just no question to that fact. And you see Dick Clark up there in 20th. He's another one who's got a pit, but he's trying to hold out for a good result. 26, Chad Bedford's day is done. Suspension problems for the Andretti Autosport entry. So I don't know, you're in a difficult spot right now. Where it's like, if you pit, I mean, you're running faster right now, but if you pit, you're going to be pinned in traffic. If you don't pit, and you hope for a caution, I mean, you got those guys pinned a lap down. So it's not the end of the day. He saw the 54 bail. He saw no caution coming. And we'll see where the 54 blends out. That should give us an idea of where the 4 is going to blend out. The 5 is bailing. He saw the 4 bail. And while it was a valiant thought, while it was a good thought to say, hey, let's pit, or let's stay out and hope for a yellow, it just didn't pan out. Oh, you see the 54 stuck in this pit. And now there's a question that we have. As the 16 now goes to the race lead, and you see the 16 coming in. Saw the 8 come in. See a bunch of others following. 38 is in. 19 is in. Michael Hoax. Alright, let's check in. Where is the 4? Cycled out to 5th, but where's he going to be? Not mistaken, JJ Bell is going to cycle back out to the lead. You see a car pitting, it's the 14. He tried his best to help the 4 out. 24, Dylan Young is now the race leader once again. So Dylan Young now cycles out to the race lead here on lap, well, we're approaching lap number 69. Nice, right? But here we are, Dylan Young, the leader, JJ Bell running in second. How's about that? The 4 of Daniel Voiles, the 42 Pretty Shaw, the 2 that are in a close points race up in front right now. And of course, you got the 20 Daniel Gittero running there in 9th. Oh man. I'm telling you, this is heating up. 3 of the 4 that need to be up front are up front right now. Annie Thomas is also running in that 8th spot. So you gotta imagine right now, Cam Arkman, Pretty Shaw. This is gonna be an interesting battle now with Pretty Shaw running in 4th and Daniel Gittero running in 9th. If he can hang on. And this is going to shape up to be a race here for the final playoff spot. All those drivers I just mentioned within 7 points of each other. But I'd imagine right now Pretty Shaw has the final spot where Cameron Arkman is going to need a miracle right now. So the way I'm looking at it, of course Pretty Shaw was only 2 behind the driver of the 20. The driver of the 20 is running in 9th. That is not what he needs, believe it or not. He's running in 9th. He does not need that run right now. He needs a better run. And you see him catching that 10 of Annie Thomas. He knows it's go time. He has got to get within a position or 2 of the 42, and he might just need a caution to get there. Again, we're going to keep an eye on this battle. We're also going to keep an eye on the number 42 of Pretty Shaw, because that is the battle for the final spot in the playoffs for the championship 4. You see Pretty Shaw. Again, she is 5 seconds, 4 or 5 seconds ahead of Daniel Gittero. She's about 5 seconds ahead. So Daniel Gittero at this point is riding around hoping for a caution. There's going to be no Ross Chastain Hail Melons that are going to get you up there. There are going to be no, well, I can't say no overtime. There is going to be overtime available if we need it. But he needs a caution, and I think he needs it right now. Like, he needs it to come soon. Because he's got to get by the 10. That's the first battle he's got. He's got to get by the 10 of Annie Thomas. Then he's going to have to get by the 2 Spire entries. The number 77 of Ali Liara, the number 7 of Nikolai Sykes, both with nothing to battle for. The only good thing in this is then after that it's the 65 of Dave James running in that 5th spot. However, Dave James helping out that 48. The 48's a lost cause at this point. Austin Shaw is well out of this battle. There's just no way. I mean, and again, he's talking about people that need a caution. He needs it. He needs a lot to happen in these next 20 laps or so. Okay. Right now, the battle, forget the 48, this is the battle, and I just don't think the 65, and again, the 65 could play defense for the 48, but I don't see that working out in the 65's favor. And I don't really see, looking at the 65, him, again, Austin Shaw's well out of the battle. I just don't see it happening. Not without losing a great deal of respect. If he was in the battle, I would understand the 65 blocking. I just don't see the 65 blocking with the 48 that far out of it. The gap's at about 4 seconds between Gittero and the 42. Again, that's the battle we're watching. Meanwhile, we're watching up front. Dylan Young has caught lap traffic. And not to take away from Dylan Young, but of course there is a playoff battle brewing right now that we do have to keep our eyes on. But again, Dylan Young is leading the race. You see him trying to lap his teammate, the 9 of Sanchez, will do so pretty easily. Now he's got Michael Collins ahead. And again, Daniel Gittero being 8 seconds back. We just talked about the 65 need. Will he play defense? Won't he play defense? I don't think we're going to see that. I don't know if we'll see the 11 play defense here. But you gotta wonder if there's maybe a team order out there. Keep that 24 back there. Try to bunch up these leaders again. And then, of course, the 48 Austin Shaw right after. So this race is not made for Dylan Young right now, as he might be just in the he might just be a victim, a poor victim in the middle of this playoff battle. And again, it's not that these guys want to prevent him from winning the race. It's a matter of these guys want to bring the leaders right back in. You see the 11 trying to pass the 48. But again, Austin Shaw's not going to be playing defense if that 24 catches him. He's going to be on the offense trying to prevent that 24 from lapping him. He is going to have to block. He's going to have to fight for his life in a minute here and hope for a serious caution. He's going to have to hope for a string of cautions if he wants to stay alive in this playoff race. But he's going to have to hope for cautions at the front of the field. The 42, the 20, the 10, the 4. Those are the guys he needs to hope for, and there's the caution he wanted. Look at this. Oh my goodness. The 43 up and over. The 24 is involved. And they are racing back to the stripe. That is exactly what Daniel Gittero needed. And look at it, the 4 is in the middle of this. Oh, the 4's around. 4 hard into the wall. Daniel Voiles, big wreck on the front stretch. I have never seen something like this happen. And Pretty Shaw has blown up. Oh, heartbreak for Pretty Shaw. She had the playoff spot in her hands. She had it well within her sights. With 9 laps to go. And now she's going to be headed to the garage. Playoff run is over for that Legacy Motor Club entry. Let's go see what happened. 99 just gets washed up into the marbles, it looks like. And you see Sanford trying to save the car. He overcorrects, hits the 88. And then just hits Dylan Ibrahimian. And Ibrahimian, another one who is battling for his life, his playoff life here. And his day might just come to an end. He flipped up and over. And I'm positive he got lapped. And you see Dylan Young get piled in there. The race leader getting involved in somebody else's mess. Here comes the 51. I don't even know who's leading the race right now. I'm pretty sure you guys saw. But I didn't see it. I don't know who's leading. I'd imagine that 51... is the race leader right now, JJ Bell, but let's fast forward. What exactly happened to the 4? You see 5 wide going through turns 3 and 4 at Martinsville, and yeah, I don't think we have to explain it any better, because that kind of stuff happens when you go 5 wide. And then the 4's just along for the ride, everybody slamming into them. And that's where the 42's day comes to an end off the 78. And there's Daniel Gittero, the guy who needed to benefit from this. He kind of hits the 78. It was a low speed, though. And then, of course, 78 blocks him, or boxes him in. So Daniel Gittero gets the caution he wants, but everybody in this mix gets involved. And now we have an interesting battle shaping up for the final playoff spot. We'll see how that goes in just a moment. Alright, this is shaping up to be very intense as we come to the finish here. Nathan Orman done for the day. Jackie Smith done for the day. The 54 you saw, serious damage. His day well over. His playoff hopes well done. Pretty Shaw is done. Playoff hopes over. Dylan Young, JJ Bell, Nikolai Sykes. We're back racing here with 5 to go. If I had to forecast right now, the 10 and the 4 are in. Everybody else is out. Dylan Young in a head-to-head battle right now with the lapped cars back there as we hit the out of turn 4 to go. And of course, we've seen cautions breed cautions. Could we see that here? That's exactly what some of those guys want to see. Where did the 20 go after that whole wreck? He fell back to 11th, and he is sinking like a rock right now. So Daniel Gittero's playoff hopes may come to an end here today. We got 3 to go. Can the 24 hang on? The 24 in Martinsville, both synonymous with each other, as well as Hendrick Motorsports. You know how important this place is to them with 2 laps to go. And Dylan Young looking to add to a historic legacy here. White flag, 1 lap of racing to go, presented by Mitchell's Memes. And again, I'd have to imagine the 10 and the 4 are in. The 20 might just be in, I don't know, we'll find out in a little bit. But through 3 and 4, Dylan Young, he's going to try to secure another career victory. Caution is out, but he is going to secure the win. Dylan Young wins at Martinsville. We saw a wreck, and it looks like the 15 might have been the recipient of that damage. Mark DeSoto. Of course, it doesn't matter. The leader took the white flag. The race is over. Dylan Young is the winner here today. We want to thank you for watching. Let's take 15 seconds, show you your race results, and we'll come back and show you who will be battling for the title at Ricky Raceway. So stay tuned. We'll be back in 15. Welcome back to the post-race show here on Tinkle Group Gaming. Congratulations to Annie Thomas getting securing the first of 4 Championship 4 spots. Congratulations to Dylan Young on winning, I believe, his first race of the season. I'm kind of looking for his name right now. I apologize. I should have been a little better prepared. Dylan Young, first win of the year, 7th career win. But of course, Annie Thomas, Bradley Ream, Daniel Voiles, Daniel Gittero are the ones to be celebrated here today. They have advanced to the Championship 4 in a first of a few things, of course. I believe this is the first time a Chevy hasn't advanced to the Championship 4, of course. Fitzwater won the title last year with Team Ford. But, Chevy's been synonymous with it. Stuart Haas Racing going to get a chance with 2 drivers battling for the title, the 4 and the 10. RFK Racing has a hand in this as well with the number 6 of Bradley Ream. And then, of course, Daniel Gittero, the driver of the 20 for Joe Gibbs Racing, looking to get Toyota their first championship. And we'll see if they can do so. Dylan Ibrahimian, it looks like he had a valiant charge through the points, still fell 16 short of the goal. Pretty Shaw had this locked up with just about 10 laps to go. All she needed was the race to stay green. It did not happen, and unfortunately, Pretty Shaw going home despite being really in it for the entire race, and that's just a heartbreak for her. Austin Shaw, of course, missing, kind of got involved in an accident early, couldn't recover. And then, of course, Cam Arkman going multiple laps down for an unknown reason, and that will prevent the 54-year Daytona 500 winner from advancing. And again, congratulations, Annie Thomas, Bradley Ream, Daniel Voiles, and Daniel Gittero. They will battle for the title at Ricky Raceway in the coming weeks. So we can't wait to bring that to you. I'm hoping to get it out to you very soon. So we shall see. But we want to thank you once again for watching, being a part of this all year. We are so excited to bring on the championship race now at long last. And we'll bring it to you here on Tinkle Group Gaming very soon. Until then, goodbye everyone.